He's never been here before.
No, I've never been here.
Well, have you ever seen a piece of clay being thrown on the potter's
No,
wheel?
I have not.
So that's what we've done for the 40 years I've been in Berea.
Wow.
And have been an open educational studio. We're in a Berea mailing address with the same Berea telephone number we've had since 1980.
Okay.
So isn't that amazing?
It is.
I still am a landline girl. I don't use cell phones.
Right.
So.
Oh, okay.
So this is a bisque firing, and they can actually touch in this one.
I see.
So we try to pack it as efficiently as we can.
Yeah. It's beautiful work on that. So what does this do? Is this
So this it fires up to just over 1800 degrees, and then it turns the clay orange, and it's still porous at that point, but it's not going to dissolve back into clay. if you
I
put it
see,
in
I
water.
see.
So then we put a layer of wax on the bottom of each piece, and then we can dip the whole piece in the glaze that we
Oh, I
use.
see. Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's kind of one of the necessary steps for the way that we
So this kind of, does this harden it pretty much? Is that what?
Yeah, so
I see.
it definitely hardens it, but it's still porous. And then once the glaze is on there, it gets loaded into a kiln a second time and gets fired to close to 2200 degrees. And that closes down the molecules and it becomes vitrified, where it's like a glass.
I see, I see.
So, yeah.
Isn't that neat?
So most everything here goes through 2 different firings.
Night 12th week birthday. And so he is just beginning to come alive, and that moment of recognizing us and cooing, and it's hard to get anything done. The getting things done happened last week. And before I can throw a pot for you guys, I have to trim this pot. I left it out intentionally the other day, so my job today is to finish the little smattering of pots that I made Saturday when we had a very brisk sales day again. And I carved these. These are his little footprints.
Oh, man.
Isn't that adorable? And they're dry enough that they can go in the kiln, buddy. I've got them sanded, and I don't have the names signed, but sanded off, but you can knock the nerds off there for me. This is what we call leather hard. So this pot being made the other day, it's stiff, yet it's ready to be decorated. We don't have too much decorating to do today, just because I didn't throw a lot on Saturday because I finished a lot. This is what the little footprint plate would look like. Isn't that adorable?
Yeah, it's cute.
Now it's not going to shrink that much. This was a smaller amount of clay. But
that shrinks up to that size?
No, it's not. This is much bigger. The point that I was making is this is a bigger piece of clay.
Oh, okay.
This is just what these are going to look like when they get put through the process. All right, there it is. I loaded a kiln on Saturday afternoon with our associate that was working Saturday, so all my tools kind of got misplaced. And I hadn't made it to the throwing. I needed to get up at 5:30 when I normally get up.
Yeah.
I get up at 6:30, which is 5:30 now.
Yeah, time back, yeah.
So I got up at 5:30 this morning, but I didn't make it. I did not make it over here. And this is what I want to throw first. So
Yes.
these are, go ahead.
Is the clay come out of the, just wherever it is out here in the
No.
wild, or?
No, sir. It is a custom created earth material. So I start at the beginning and kind of let people get an intro to the fact that I love working with earth.
I see.
So I am 48 years in clay. I've been making pots since 1972. Was not an accomplished potter to begin with, so I am certainly there now. And the business has been here for 28 years. The first 12 years we were in Berea, and I really have not brushed my hair. Not like your mom, whose hair is beautiful. I am ashamed that you're taking a picture of me.
Oh, you're fine.
Buddy, will you hand me one of those sponges, please, dear? Now, the next level, we just finished that level. What we going with next?
Yeah, so.
Pie plates.
The smaller, regular size or the small?
Regular with the small ones on the inside, hot butter. And if that doesn't work, go with something that does, just to go ahead and get it on. So earth materials come in two different categories: organic earth materials and inorganic. Inorganic is clay, ground up rock. This was rock that was ground up by glaciers many, many, many millions of years old. Dug out of the ground in Grayson, Ohio, Grayson, Kentucky, the southernmost point of Ohio, and then a third clay from Paducah. Those three clays, ground up, pounded up, powdered by the companies, get mixed and blended by a custom formula. Those formulas are not given to anyone else, and this is made just for us. This is a piece of earth that just got weighed out, and I'm making soup mugs. First thing, centering the ball of clay. This is the first thing you have to do. If the clay is like that, you can't make a pot. You can certainly make a mess, and you can feel clay slurrying around on your hands, but you have to put the clay perfectly in the middle. So putting the clay perfectly in the middle allows us to go to the next step. This is just a solid ball of clay. I've let the clay know I'm its human, and without the human, nothing happens with the clay. It just sits and waits to be dealt with. Opening up the orifice and now bringing out what was the floor of the vessel. This is called making a pull.
I've seen that like that.
And I'm pulling the clay up by touching the clay in one place on the surface of what is a cylinder, dragging the clay up. I'm not up here, I'm not over here, I'm not back here. I'm letting the clay pass through my hands, which are very skilled at talking and working at the same time, which is why there's not a lot of woodworkers in Berea anymore, because you can't talk and work on a big power piece of equipment.
Yeah.
And all woodworkers want to do is talk about what they're doing. I can at least listen to a potter or a wannabe potter while I'm throwing, because I deal with so many people on a tourism level. Oh, I did that in high school, and they think that that's what I've done. No, ma'am, and no, sir. I've been working towards being this since I first was introduced to clay while being a student at Berea. This was my labor position, and I got paid to learn how to be a potter by going to Berea College, then made it my avocation to stay in our community while working for the college for a couple of years. And then I started my own shop in a small incubator style business where we just shared the rent. We just had a number of us that wanted to be artists, and none of us wanted to pay all the rent. So we got together and shared the rent. None of us went into business with each other. We went into business for ourselves and maintained that. And there's 5 of us that work in clay here at Tater Knob. So my husband Jeff and my son David, Ingy, Jeff Inge, David Inge, and Samantha Inge are all part of the team, along with my friend Buddy, who is also a potter. And we all work here making the things that we sell. We don't sell anybody else's pottery. And we let the public come in and talk to us. Sometimes people get to see us put handles on. That is one of my jobs today, is to put a handle on. So handles go on the pots I made Saturday that I've had covered up with plastic. I have a batter bowl, 2 pitchers, and this will have a handle, but I doubt that I'll get it on today. Maybe later in the evening I'll get it on if I'm here late. Putting a bevel in the bottom currently allows the pot not to have to be trimmed. And this is a piece of kite string that loosens it from the wheel and then lets me pick it up and set it
It's
aside.
not something.
It's very wet, you can see that.
Oh, yeah.
It's super wet. I know how to pick it up and handle it because I've done it and I've practiced. That's what you do. You practice until you get it right. Then we'd be here at 9 in the morning and we'd stay till 5. And I never walk out on folks. They come in at 10 till 5
Right.
because I live right here. So it's just walking home. I do have a life and I have an appointment. I definitely say, I gotta go, guys. Sorry about that. But the point is, we're here and we're very hospitable and enjoy what we do enough that people drive all the way out here. We don't want them to be disappointed. And that's kind of what's made our life work. Sorry. There's a tool. Well, can't use that. I can use this. I don't know where my pen tool went. So this is pulling a handle. When you want to put a handle on, you can either put a piece of clay in an extruder and extrude a big strap of clay and then stick it on. As you're going to see, we make sure that the handle adheres by scoring the surface
Oh, wow.
and make sure that the handle feels good in your hand as you're drinking from a mug. Now I have to get up and find my pen tool wherever. So 3 generations are now where people came, brought their children back. Those people are bringing their children back.
Yeah.
So that's kind of heartwarming.
Yeah, I bet.
So these are what we call leather hard. That's the pie plate as well. You'll notice I'm able to hold it, but I'm able to also smooth it, clean up the rough edges. And then directly across from the spout, I'm scoring the surface. The one thing you don't ever want to have is phone calls saying, now I've had pots get broken, pots break apart on folks because it is real earth. But I don't want to have a phone call that says, a handle has come off. So I scored deeply. I've scratched that up.
Yeah.
Now this is wet clay, this is not. This is stiffened clay. So you take the wet clay, you do the same thing to it. You score it, and then you come directly across from the spout, and you make sure that it's across from the spout. And before I even move it, and yes, ma'am, I don't change location so you can watch conveniently. You can get behind me if you want.
I didn't want to get in that film.
Oh,
That's okay. I
you're
can see
prettier
you.
than I am today, sweetie. You just stay right there in that film. I don't know what I look like today, except I got my uniform on. And we do this, and we come down.
Oh, yeah.
Well, isn't that neat?
And I make sure that it's straight. You don't need to score the bottom because it's not going to pick up the weight. And I need about a dozen of these. I can't keep those. I had people coming looking for those over the weekend and I didn't have any.
Uh-oh.
So they just have to come back. And last week, I had a lady come in 2 weeks ago on Thursday. So it'll be 2 weeks this week. She came in and said, I'm gonna make your day. And she bought every spoon bread baker I had. So I immediately sat down and made spoon bread bakers, and I need to make them today. We just got the small things. I'm doing small things first, and then later this afternoon, I'll throw some big things and fill up the shop. It's a busy time as we're celebrating the 40th year of our business by having a huge event here on December the 7th and 8th, which is our annual holiday event. It has been happening for 40 years that I've done a holiday show.
Man.
That's the first full weekend in December. I'm gonna make it through that, girlfriend, and then I don't know about continuing. I'm like,
Well, that is neat.
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
about as neatest thing I've ever seen.
The 40th year holiday show, you'll never know we ever threw a pot in here. We clean it up and we put cloths on tables and we decorate and we put pots in here. We turn this into a gallery.
Oh,
And it's
that's
quite delightful, and a lot of people look for that to kick off their holiday season. So I'm just keeping my nose to the grindstone, making as many pots as I can.
Oh, that's great.
And it takes 7 days. So this custom created wonderful smooth clay. We're grateful that it hasn't run out. They haven't run out. What's up?
If you want me to turn it on, do you want to do like a preheat? Because
Sure.
things are kind of,
Yeah,
some of those pie plates
that's
seem pretty
fine.
damp.
That's fine. Yes,
That just means it's gonna go late.
that's okay. I can come check it. That's just fine. Gets her done. I'm not leaving it on till tomorrow. Do you have any questions, Virginia? Robert? Questions about anything that I've kind of missed or a big gap in information?
You've been real good.
I try to get it all out, and I try not to be so long and lengthy. Sometimes I have to be, though, because people just don't understand. And on weekends, I keep a little sampler of work so that they can see the stages, because I'm talking. And unless you can see it, then you sometimes just don't quite understand how it works. So
I think the last time I was here, I got a little piece of clay or something. Am I telling it right?
Clay? You got a piece of clay? It's quite possible.
Well, they give it to me and I made something.
Were you
each
with the
one.
church group?
Yeah.
Yep. Yes, we do church group work. Did you get it finished?
Yeah, I think so.
We finished it
I
for
think,
you.
yeah.
Yeah. We do that by reservation. We do big church groups. We do elder hostel groups. We do, I just had 25 homeschooled kids in here a couple of weeks ago
Oh, man.
at one time. And it was warm enough that we could get them outside and let them enjoy a clay experience outside. It was impromptu, it wasn't planned, and they didn't pay for that. I just did it. I don't make people pay for the experience, but I didn't keep their pots either. Because I'm not gonna, you want your pot, you gotta pay for it. I don't do that for free.
Yeah.
Yeah.